Some really interesting moments in Zurich Monday as FIFA's embattled leader finally revealed when he might step down. Sepp Blatter says the election to choose a successor will happen on February 26th. It seems he's clinging to football's top job as long as he can, doesn't it? Earlier, Blatter said the vote would be held sometime between December and March. And now, right before the news conference began, a British comedian caused a stir and some laughs by throwing fake cash at the outgoing president. There you see it. FIFA has been consumed by a corruption and bribery scandal, and it's promising to get serious about reforms. Lots to talk about. With me now is Grant Wall, a senior writer from Sports Illustrated. Grant, it's great to have you here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
I want to just first get your take on this news conference that happened, and obviously that bizarre moment with that British comedian kind of throwing the fake cash into the air.
He made it rain.
He made it rain money.
Yeah, I mean, it's an image, actually, that I think will be a lasting one with Sepp Blatter. You know, you've seen that all day long now, that image be on social media, all around the world on television. Yeah. And it really is an example, I think, that Sepp Blatter may not be totally aware that this is what defines him at this point in time. And there's a lot of problems that maybe he still is underestimating at FIFA.
So one of the headlines from today was the fact that Sepp Blatter said he would not be a candidate in the 2016 election. Do you believe him? Because I know there's a lot of skeptics out there who believe that he's going to try everything he can to hold on to power for as long as he can.
I actually think at this point in time that he will not run, that he finally has been clued in on the fact that things do need to change there. This is a huge, drastic investigation that is going on. You have the Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch, saying that FIFA is an organization that is corrupt and needs to be investigated, that more will come out, that their investigation is only starting. So
what do you think about these reforms that Sepp Blatter wants to start implementing? I mean, we've heard from the skeptics that an outsider, an international committee needs to come in for true reform to take place. What is the media making of this and these reforms that are being proposed?
It's hard for me to take it seriously, having covered FIFA for a really long time at this point. FIFA just wants this to be business as usual if you're Sepp Blatter, and I don't think he fully understands that even their top sponsors now, including Coca-Cola last week, comes out and says, we want a truly independent commission with somebody of real international gravitas come in from the outside and overhaul this organization the same way that the International Olympic Committee had that done after the Salt Lake City scandal. So right now, Sepp Blatter still wants to have this happen on his terms, and some of these reforms, like term limits, like deeper background checks on FIFA officials, those are good things, but much, much more than that needs to be done. And forming a task force, we've seen this before at FIFA. They had 4 separate task forces for reform back in 2011, and they didn't really do anything. So
will the sponsors have the most influence here? Will they allow things to happen, under Sepp Blatter's terms?
I think that's the story to follow right now, is if Coca-Cola is saying this publicly, that they want a truly independent commission to reform FIFA, and Blatter doesn't want that, I think what could happen here is over the next several months that Coca-Cola and other FIFA sponsors will continue to put pressure on things, and Blatter won't be able to necessarily do things the way he wants to.
Right, and to talk more about the fact that, it's going to be very difficult to bring about some substantial reform is, even with the election in February, I mean, you're going to have the same federation members, right, voting, and this is the same federation that re-elected Sepp Blatter. So how could there be fundamental change, especially with the voting pool as well?
It's basically impossible the way things are currently set up, and that's why drastic change needs to happen from the outside. The sponsors keep needing to put more and more pressure on FIFA to change, because you look at the rules that FIFA has right now, and it's impossible for a true outsider to run for FIFA president. You actually have to have been involved in football for 2 of the past 5 years to even be a candidate. That's a new rule. And so I think you need to have someone like a Kofi Annan, like a true outsider candidate, come in and run FIFA and give it some credibility.
Do you think, quickly, is he a true candidate, you think, that he could possibly even be considered?
It's not even possible right now because he hasn't been involved in football for 2 of the past 5 years. He cannot run. No true outsider can run, so it has to be someone from inside the sport.